Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Black Eel Podcast, where your hosts Scott and Mike are going to be talking about the three trailers that have recently come out for Lanterns, The Boys, and Daredevil. And then we're going to be moving on to talking about our thoughts on a movie that Mike and I had not seen previously. I don't think either of us had. The New Mutants, but we had definitely talked about it and heard about it for a while. And then we'll be ending with a character spotlight from me. So, which trailer would you like to start off with, Mike? You want to
Start
do
with
it in the order they came out in? Because the way I've seen it was Lanterns, Boys, then the Daredevil.
Yeah, that's how it came out. Sure. Yeah.
We got to see more of Lanterns, which it was already giving us cop drama anyway, which is not a bad thing. Um,
Yeah, we knew
this,
it was supposed to be that kind of a show for a while now.
I'm also curious where this takes place, or when this takes place, I should say.
Yeah.
Be-
Obviously this is supposed to be tied to the MCU or DCU. Um
yes, and it was a couple of things that Hal Jordan said that were one thing in particular, I will say, is that he's the only human.
yeah.
Which I mean, I can't imagine the way Guy Gardner is. There's no way he
There's
wouldn't
no way
know.
he
Like,
doesn't know about him. Absolutely.
yeah. So that's why I'm thinking this has got to be like early before that, like before the Justice Gang existed.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's
and then we're going to
definitely
be seeing what happened, like meaning like we're going to get like a snippet of what happens to John Stewart after the fact.
yeah. I mean, this is Jon Stewart's origin. So obviously we're going to be seeing all that stuff. Um it definitely, like you said, definitely very interesting that they said, like, the way they said it, where he's the only human lantern. He can't communicate with the other lanterns because they're aliens, uh which obviously, as we know from the comics, that is not that is not the case. So curious about that.
Correct.
um I think it's I do like the fact that this is a like an old Hal Jordan, where he's ready to hang up the boots, kind of thing. You can tell by by seeing the clip. It's obviously he's moving slower. He looks older, but like even the suit is run down. It's not as
That was
bright
my
and
other question. How
colorful.
did you feel about the suit?
I mean, for the first look, I thought it was fine, especially for the fact that with the story that they're going, where it's Hal Jordan is getting towards the end of his career. Um,
Well,
you
no,
know,
my question was the fact that it wasn't technically a construct.
oh yeah. I mean, I kind of was going in that route. Because we saw that in Superman with Guy
Yep.
Gardner, it was already in my head that they were going that route. They
Okay, okay.
they could, when they use their powers, fully
Like
turn their
enhance it and
outfit.
everything else,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um, so I'll be honest, like, that didn't even click in my head because of the fact that we saw Superman already, and it was already in that situation.
Yeah.
Um,
And I was also going to say another thing too. Like when I first saw the trailer, right? Because I watched it more than once. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, I didn't like that Hal Jordan was flying and there was no green. But then I realized Guy Gardner didn't have any green when he was flying. So
yep,
then I was like, okay, I'm going to back it up a bit because, yes, technically in my mind, like he should be green, right?
yeah, yeah,
That's just because the way that we grew up. That's
yep,
how it's been, right? But then I keep forgetting that there was already a movie that showed us a lantern, which was going to give us the idea of how it was going to look.
yeah,
And I still didn't register it because I'm like, it's Hal Jordan. Like, it's going to be a green suit.
yeah. Yeah, no, that's yeah. I can understand your point with that.
But I will say that I got over it after registering that Guy Gardner, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He wasn't green when he was flying. The only time we saw green was when he made constructs.
Now we have to realize too that a lot of the stuff that we saw from Superman is not going to be similar to this, because this is well, actually, this will be the second project when it comes out, that James Gunn is not, like, he's not himself writing.
Mm.
because it was Supergirl first, and now this one. So like the definitely the tone and the style is going to be very different.
No, I
Um,
agree, but what I'm saying is like, but
I know what you're saying.
the concept will continue.
Oh,
Meaning,
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, he's overseeing it, so it's gotta
yeah,
get the green light from him. But, it's just we have to be prepared that this is gonna be a dark is seeming like a dark, gritty show, especially for a cop drama show.
agreed,
Um,
a
you know,
hundred percent agreed.
it's not gonna be nearly as many jokes, it's not gonna be so lighthearted. But what my main point for saying that too is that, we already have a Green Lantern movie, and we have to take a step back because that movie went in the direction of bright colors, green suit, and all that stuff, and it
Now I
failed.
understand.
So, like, they want to distance themselves from that while
That's
also
fair.
being true to what they can do. Like, this tone and style is going to be completely different from that.
I mean, from what I've seen, I'm liking it.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
100%. Like, it's one of those things where I'm also curious, like, who the villain is going to be, because it's clearly some sort of alien, because the technology, at the very least, is too great for humans,
yep.
visually, from what we've seen. Because
Oh,
we
yeah.
haven't seen we've only seen the aftermath, we haven't seen what caused it, but we've seen the aftermath.
I know that I've heard people talking about that Sinestro is going to be a very big part of the show.
Now,
Um,
I would assume the assumption would be he would be a yellow lantern at this point, correct?
I would assume so.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, they could still go green, but you get my point. I just
I
was
mean, they
curious.
didn't specify. All I know is that they said Sinestro is supposed to be a major part of the show. Whether or not that's true or not, this is just online speculation.
Yeah.
People saying, "Oh, I heard from the Olive Vine." We saw a couple other characters that have DC comic origins in the trailer. One of them's, I believe, his name is Anton. Um, Another one was the cowboy riding on the horse in the desert. But I forget his name.
I
Um,
would have never known, but okay. No, I'm not even trying to. I'm not. I'm just because I'm not unfamiliar. I'm like I have no
yeah.
clue who you're. Like I know
Um,
who you're talking about by what you're saying. However, I don't know who they are.
that's why I said that we saw characters with comic
Yeah.
origins. I like if I'm gonna sit here and say I know them off the top of my head, I'm not gonna.
Okay. Good.
But I know that there was a lot of people also saying that the reason why they didn't call the show Green Lanterns is because, and only Lanterns is because, which Sinestro would be an example of that as well, is that they're going to be showcasing multiple different color lanterns, which I'm interested in.
That
I
would be
think if
cool.
I'm nervous that if they do that they do too much too soon. Um, Maybe give like a little tease of the different colors or maybe talk about it. But I mean, you don't want to introduce too many colors right away, especially when this is supposed to be an origin story for John Stewart. Um, Also, I don't know if you noticed this, but each lantern has a different style ring.
Yes,
I thought that was pretty cool.
I I noticed that the second go around because I didn't notice it the first time.
Mm.
Because like I will say this, John Stewart and Hal's were the closest together, meaning like look wise, and then obviously Guy is
Guy.
yeah, his is very different. His is more bright green. Um, where these guys were more like ring. Um, so yeah, I mean my whole thing with because I would imagine that there's always a way to figure it out because I would imagine that there's got to be a team where there's like a rainbow lantern in the sense of like let me rephrase that because that actually means something else. Because it'd be one lantern having all the rings. What I meant to say was
One
a
team
group.
having a lantern from each color scheme. Yeah.
Yes. That's why I had to change my tune. I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
that's not it.
I knew exactly what you meant. And then when you backtracked, I was like, oh, I.
Mike's like, I 100% understand now. If there was any doubt, there's not anymore.
Yep.
But no, I'm wondering about that. But I mean, that also wouldn't ruin anything either. I mean, the other thing too is it's like Sinestro, and then you'd see Star Sapphire. Like those two would make sense to be seen because they're villains of Hal Jordan himself.
Yeah. I'm curious if I don't remember. I think they said that was that we were going to be getting the female Green Lantern in this as well.
That was the rumor. Well, no. I don't know if we were getting it in this project, but we were getting her in the DCU, I thought.
I don't that I don't, it's because it's been
So
a
what I will
while
say
since
is
we've talked about it.
I remember this being brought up because that's why they were using her in Ninja Batman.
Beginning to expose us, yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think I remember them saying that she was going to be in this show. Now, whether or
Maybe.
not she was going to be, a big part of it is, completely,
That's neither here nor there, you're right.
but I think that I remember them saying that she was going to be introduced in this show.
Okay.
And I'm blanking on her name.
Imagine we
Yes,
find out that Hal knew that they were a bunch of humans and he just decided to lie to John.
probably. I mean,
Um,
for a guy who's been around a long time, I mean, Guy Gardner and Hal Jordan are one of the first two Earth Lanterns.
and
So,
not
I
only
mean,
that too, but the fact that he doesn't even know how to use the ring properly with the communication device.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this, something's odd that is happening where it's like, you know what I'm saying? And I mean it in the sense of like we don't know what's going on because this could very well be part of the training
Yeah,
for all we know.
that's fair. Yeah.
But visually, from our end, it's very odd that Hal Jordan doesn't know that there's other human lanterns, and the fact that he can't communicate with any of the other lanterns.
I could kind of understand him not being able to communicate with Guy, because if Guy isn't like in his own team, he probably might have been like, okay, I'm cut off from the rest of you, kind of thing.
Yeah, but even still, my whole thought process there is just the fact of like not knowing he exists to not speaking to him are two different things, in my opinion.
Now there could have he could. I'm playing like devil's advocate on this one, but he could be trying to say like, because he asked, "Oh, are there other Green Lanterns?" He might not be considering Guy a Green Lantern because he might have seen him as like turning his back from the Order by selling himself out to join the Justice Gang. Um,
Actually, yeah.
and I mean, a lot of Lanterns don't really like the Guy in the first place, so he might
Well, I
just
was
be
gonna
like,
say he was put on the spec ops for the lanterns.
Mhm.
So like
don't want him coming back. So
I mean the goal is it's a win-win. Either the mission works or he's gone.
At the very least, if the mission is a success, he's gone for a while. So
Yeah. So that's yeah, I mean that's my whole thing where it's like it again, we're gonna get those answers, so I'm less worried about it because there's no way he's gonna leave those completely untied.
yeah.
We might not get an elaborate answer, but we will get an answer. Is more of what I'm getting at. So I'm less concerned.
Or at least
But
a hint of an answer.
well, that's what I mean. Like that's why I'm less worried about it. But like it's at least dinging for me.
At
Of
the
like
at the at the very least, in the scope of the show, it's not a big factor.
no. It's a more of a universal thing for me.
Yeah.
The show
Um,
itself that doesn't ruin anything, at least visually right now.
I hinted a little bit while I was talking about how James Gunn wasn't in control of, wasn't
Well, he's
the
not
main
writing a lot of
focus.
things right now because I think the next thing he's writing is Supergirl. Is he not even writing that?
No, he's not writing Supergirl. No.
Yeah, because I don't. I think he's done
I
writing for
believe
now
I
because there's too many
believe
projects.
I believe the writer of Wonder Woman took the reins for Supergirl, if I remember correctly.
Probably. You're
Um,
probably right. I'm not going to
but
pretend.
no, the reason why I was saying that is because we officially have confirmation that this show is coming out in August. We don't know the exact date yet, but it's
Yes.
late summer, August. So Supergirl comes out in June or July.
So I'm wondering if they're going to wait to see the no, because they can't wait that long to give a date. Maybe they
Oh yeah,
could.
no, they wouldn't wait that long. I'm assuming probably like,
End of August to be safe.
yeah. I mean, I would say they're probably going to give the official date around like May.
Probably. I'm also thinking too. Like, I think they're wondering, which is also a possibility of like when it might go to digital and just meaning Supergirl, not lanterns, obviously, and trying to make sure that the lanterns don't interfere with it at all.
That's
But I can't
possible.
imagine it would. But at the same time, weird things happen.
I think in this situation, no matter what, it will a little bit affect it. But like Supergirl and Lanterns are two different, completely different styles of genre, that it shouldn't impact it. But
Well, I'm also wondering too, like they're gonna want enough time to span, meaning like enough episodes have come out. So like when if it happens towards the end, there's already a fan base for the Lanterns that it's not gonna be such an impact.
yeah, um, I'm yeah, I'm. I also don't think we saw that it. I do not believe we saw that if it's a weekly release or if it's releasing all at once.
We don't know. That is also
So,
true. That is also true. I
um,
would doubt that he's not gonna do it weekly just because of
I
like
believe Gunn said that he's not a fan of the of dumping everything at once. I think he
I
said he
thought he did
likes the
too. That's
classic.
why I'm because I don't even think he wants to do like two episodes at once.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But don't quote me on that one. But I know for a fact he's mentioned putting it all at once isn't like TV. Then it's just might as well to be a movie.
Yeah,
Was like a comment he made
yeah, I kind of remember that.
because it was
Um,
talk in the very beginning of just like shows in general. Like, oh, are you going to be doing like lump sums like Netflix, or are you going to be doing like Prime, where you're going to do a bunch at once and then one a week at a time? And I think he made a comment being like, it's a TV show. It's going to be once a week like it used to be, or something like that.
yeah. I can understand the multiple at once as like a big opening, because they used to do that where it's like the first and the last episode were
Well, it
bigger.
would be like an extra long episode. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, so it would feel like two episodes. I get where you're coming from, but it's just weirder now. It's streaming. It's just
Oh yeah.
it's
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's like it's kind of awkward to do that, but at the same time, it doesn't ruin it either. But anyway, overall, I mean, I was actually very excited about this, and I feel more excited about it now after this trailer
Yeah.
because we got a lot more. We got a lot more of what we needed, but also not enough for us to know anything.
Yeah. So when this first dropped, they've been doing their thing now where it's like, oh, trailer coming tomorrow. So I saw that,
I
and
that's a is that a new thing or am I just noticing it more now?
I don't
Because it
know if
wasn't just them; it was the boys too.
yeah, I don't know if this is like I'm like you said, I'm noticing it more. If this is a new trend that people are doing, studios are doing, which I think is really weird. But
Get yourself ready for a trailer coming out soon.
yeah, but so when they announced that, I guess there was a mess up, and they released the teaser trailer for the trailer early, and then the full trailer when they released the full trailer, I guess accidentally was released with it. So everyone first saw that small teaser trailer because that was hyped up from the media team. So everyone saw it and they were all really pissed off because it was what we already saw where he was driving in the car and he flew off the cliff. It was like a little bit longer than on that scene, like a second or two longer. And the full trailer, like I said, it released at the same time, but it wasn't hyped up. So nobody actually saw it until like people started doing extra digging and saw it was released, but like I said, wasn't hyped up, so nobody knew of it. So like the official media team, because rounds started circulating that it's actually released. The media team was like, all right, well, you know what, you guys got lucky. We're releasing the full trailer a day early because we messed up.
That's hilarious. So speaking of which, let us move on to the boys. This trailer was incredible.
Yeah, no, this was
E-
a really good trailer.
This was everything we wanted, right? Everything. Everything we wanted. We got to see everyone kind of together and also separate, all at the same time. We
Yep.
got to see the fact that Soldier Boy's back. So we got comedy in this trailer.
We got a touch of the comics with that scene.
Actually, yes. Heavily hinted there. Um, and then and then also Kimiko is speaking.
Yep, just full talking, and really throwing people for a loop there. Like, oh, you talk now? Yeah.
So yeah, we're also gonna have to. I mean, the big thing that has to happen in the three episodes is how they all escape.
Yep, and why Butcher is working with them again.
Yeah, Butcher has control of his Cancer V,
Hmm.
which we kind of knew already
We
because of
saw
the
that
end.
at the last season. Yeah.
Yeah, well, what I will say is it feels. It's going to sound very weird. It was like a one and done thing then, but now we're like, oh no, he's got it completely under control now.
Yeah,
And
maybe.
again, you can argue that he already did because he came back healthy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, healthy.
um, well, you know what I mean. Like it wasn't killing him anymore technically.
He was able to. He was managing at
Yeah.
least.
So yeah, so we get all that. Um, we also see Marie and Jordan.
Yes. Yep. We see the Gen V crew coming in. Yep.
We see, oh gosh, what is his name? Oh my gosh, he's in everything. He's the leader. He used to be the CEO of Vought for a while.
Oh yeah. We always forget his name.
I can never remember his
We
name.
always forget his name.
I always forget his name because what I want to say is not because I'm thinking of his other characters and I'm gonna say the wrong name and I'm terrified
I'm
because
just gonna.
he's not Vought. He's not Stryker because that's her. No, not Stryker. Stryfer. That was the woman.
Stan Edgar.
Edgar. Jeez.
Every single time.
And you know what's funny? In the comics, this guy's dead.
Is he?
Yeah, like no, like he's. I think he's never seen, and he like dies off camera. I believe, like off panel.
Oh, that's interesting.
And again, such a pivotal character in this series, but it just makes me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the fact that they changed something so drastically and it works so well.
I mean, the show has changed
Deviated.
drastically from the comics. So, I mean,
Yeah, I think after the first season it was more comic book related than all the others.
mhm.
There was a couple of changes, but for the most part, it was like identical. They made it less gory, weirdly enough, which is a weird thing to say based on
I
what we
mean,
watched.
to be honest, we saw that coming. I mean, like
No, no,
we know
no.
this.
I agree, but like based on what we get, which is very gory,
Yeah.
the fact
Yeah.
that we're saying they've dialed it back is a huge thing. Is what I'm getting at. But anyway, and I think though, weirdly enough, I think now it's like back to the comics. The only difference is obviously going to be how they get rid of Homelander because it can't be the way they're doing it in the comic, at least in my mind, unless they use his son. That's the only thing. Then it would be almost identical. But even then, it can't be because he would know that it's his son who has his powers. So in the comic, just to ruin it for you, Black Noir was a clone of Homelander the whole time.
Yep.
And so he actually killed Homelander. Oh no, he beat Homelander enough that somebody else was able to kill him. But either way, because of that big shock, because even Homelander didn't know after he took over Vought, he didn't know that was the thing, even after all that. And it was a big surprise for him. And let's just say he doesn't do well with surprises.
We know this.
So you can imagine it didn't go well. But
Yeah.
that being said, I'm very curious to see where it goes. We also saw Sister Sage, which is good. There was also a line in this trailer, and I don't think you've ever seen the show. Have you ever seen The Handmaid's Tale?
No, I did not.
Okay. So when Firecracker says "Praise be," the idea of that is women to be obedient to their men when they're asked all these things of being. They say "Praise be" as like a polite thing to say. So I find it interesting that Firecracker's saying that to him. Just because of the oppression, meaning like no, they're demonstrating the idea of the oppression.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
I was
coming.
gonna say. I mean, I was gonna say is like she already made it very obvious that she was gonna do his bidding 100%. So
No, agreed. But what I'm saying is, it's just the actual words that were said were what threw me off.
yeah.
No, the action, absolutely not. I was not surprised at all. The fact that she's not just naked in front of him is a shock, honestly. and that's a fact.
I mean, he also made it clear that at the last season that wasn't going to happen. So
Also, she doesn't seem to be producing milk anymore.
yeah, she cut it off last season because it was killing her.
Yeah, but but we didn't see her healthy yet, though, did we?
Yeah, we did. I'm pretty sure we did at the end.
Oh, maybe we did.
I'm almost positive at the end she stopped using the drug because
That's right. Because what I'm thinking was the last time we saw her was at the mansion, but that's when she decided to stop because she couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
That's
Because
what it
when
was.
because when the heroes went in the tower, she was like so sick she
Couldn't
couldn't.
do anything. Yeah, correct,
So
correct,
then
correct.
after that, she quit.
Because she wanted to be more helpful.
Yeah,
That I remember it because it was late in the series that she stopped the season.
yeah, and then we also saw her in Gen V.
Yeah,
She was doing a news broadcast.
yeah,
So at that point,
but also, oh no, that we know that that happened after. Never mind.
yeah, that Gen V took place after. So
Never mind. But yeah, you're correct. But anyway, you're right. A Train being a part of the group is still weird too. I got to get used to that.
and he's
Um,
very friendly with with at least Starlight.
well, they've also been together for. Thanks to Gen V, we know that they've been working together for a bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
But I mean, my point is that yes, they've been working together for a bit, but it's like they've gotten a lot closer than, especially when it's like, are we still on edgy ground kind of thing? So like,
no, you're correct. You're correct.
they're like at very least way past that point at this point.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, that's going to be the big thing. I'm also curious to see what happens in general of just the series in and of itself because we know this is the end
Yep.
of the main series. So I'm
Yep.
very curious to see where this goes. I mean, I'm super excited to see some of the characters back. We're also getting new characters as well. We have a new leader of the Christian movement in Vought territory
Mhm.
who has sonic voice or something like that. Um, trying to think of what else, but no, those are the big things. Excuse me. I mean, we also get to see the fact of Homelander punching somebody still, and we have no idea who it is. The other thing we saw was they made it allude to the fact that his son might be a traitor to him,
Yep.
which isn't that big of a shock, but
We were
they
getting
hinted
hints
it
of
in the
that in the
trailer.
last season, so yeah, hints of that in the last season. So
He also looks so much older.
yes, he does. I said that last season where he's aging a lot, but
Yeah,
um,
because he's at that weird age where he's hitting puberty, so he's getting older quicker,
yep,
or
yep.
looking it that way. Poor kid.
The big thing that I'm very excited for, which I mentioned this at the start of every season, is the shock factor they're going to do in the first 15 minutes of the intro. What shocking thing are they going to do that's going to put my jaw on the floor?
Well, what I've learned is, if I remember correctly, it doesn't have to be in the first 15 minutes. It's in the first 3 episodes. Because I
No,
think there
like
was
it's
one.
always it's the very first scene of the show that they do that's shocking.
What was last season? Huh? What was
Gen,
last season?
I don't,
Because I thought it was an event that happened in like episode 2 or 3.
no, no. I mean, they definitely have more shocking moments, but
No. But you get my point I'm making. I can't remember now because I'm under the impression no matter what, I will agree to you that it's always in the first 3 episodes without a doubt. I just didn't realize. I don't think I registered that it's every 15 minutes, like not every 15 minutes, but every first 15 minutes. Because the first one
yeah,
was
no,
obviously Huey's
it's always
girlfriend.
yeah.
Season 2 was it the milk
Season
drinking?
2, the milk drinking, milk drink. What do you mean?
When he
I don't
used his
remember.
laser vision to heat up the frozen milk.
Oh no, I don't think it was that. Is season 2 or season 3 the one where the guy exploded the guy's dick?
That was 3, I thought.
That was 3. Okay.
Yeah, it can't be 2, right? Because all right, that one yes. Yeah, because that was the third one because Stormfront wasn't in that one. Stormfront was season 2. What happened? What happened? That's gonna bother me now.
I'm pulling it up just to get a quick try to get a quick refresher. Newman announces she's office.
Oh wait, Oh, was it the cop that got her head blown off in season 2, or was that season 1?
I don't remember at this point. I do not remember.
All right, we're gonna have to move on because it's not.
Yeah, that's either that's not the big thing, but I just remember it being the intro of every season. Like, you know, Gen V. The first episode was the parents getting killed. Marie's parents, her killing her parents.
Yep.
Um, Season 2, I also don't remember now, but I just, like I said, I remember it always. They start the show by hitting hard. That's all I remember. Because I'm blanking right now, which of course is the best time to blank.
Continue talking.
Oh, so now you're gonna look. Okay. I mean, I think we've talked about everything that I can talk about for this. That's the problem.
I was right. Season 2 is where she gets her head blown up.
I don't remember what cop. I don't remember.
It's the one that he kept trying to, that Butcher kept trying to blackmail, and he went into her house in season 1. They were going to provide the files to prove that Vought was a problem, and then her head blew up. It was the first time we see somebody's head get blown up. It was the CIA deputy director, Susan Rayner.
Okay, like I remember that. I just don't remember her face. That's the problem. I thought we saw the heads blowing up at the end of season 1.
I think so, but this was the first time they see it in person. Like, it happened immediately.
Yeah, but I thought we saw.
No.
No. Wasn't the end of season 1 when they were in the courtroom and everyone's heads blew up?
No, that's season 2.
Oh, that's season 2. Okay. Yeah, because then in season 3 we realized that it was Noonan that had that power.
Correct, because we didn't know who it was in general.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, this is the one where they go inside the pee-pee.
Okay. Yeah.
Season 3.
Yep. Okay.
All right. So you're right.
Yeah, I know that they.
To be fair, I don't because you know what, they weren't. Because can I at least say this? That although they're a shock value, some of them were not the big point of the season of the big gore. If you understand what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
And I think that's what I was expecting, because I was like, no, this worse.
No, I know that. Like it's just I'm saying, like, they start the show by shocking its audience. You know, it's like, you know, I'm my thing now is like, how are they going to top last season?
That's true. I mean, they're going to. There's no way they're not, just because it's the end, and they're just not going to care, because what are they going to do? Get canceled?
Yeah, they could cancel everything else, but
well, no, the idea is they're different shows, so they can get away with it. So, like, this is the show that they messed up on. Well, it's already done anyway, so who cares?
I agree with you. They're going to go out with a bang. They're going to go all hands on deck. You know, no holds bar. So I'm very curious how this is going to come to an end. Very curious how it's going to lead up for the rest of the shows.
And also, I'm curious why Soldier Boy is now working with Homelander so willingly.
Yeah, I mean, they hinted at it, I think. So I in the trailer where it's like, "Dad, I need your help."
No, I know, but he also made it weird. But he asked that in the last season he was in, and he basically called him a crybaby.
Nope, no, he didn't ask him for help. Last season, he was seeking his approval. This time he's just asking. He's like, "I need your help to do this."
Okay, that's fair.
Last season, he was trying to make himself seem strong to make his dad like him.
Well, no, last season his dad wasn't around.
Sorry, last time. Sorry.
Yeah, correct. So anyway, I mean, I'm excited about it. I mean, we got to see so much and so little all at the same time. I'm very curious to see where it goes. I mean, we also see that the Deep and Black Noir have a podcast, which, here's my issue with it. It's not so much that I'm surprised that he has a podcast, but they pick the mute.
The one that's supposed to be the mute.
Because he's not, which is even funnier.
Mm-hmm. And so he's supposed to be a mute.
Isn't. This version of it isn't.
No. So he's supposed to be a mute, and he also has a sleeping problem, so it's just like in the middle of the podcast, he can pass out at any moment.
Yep.
So makes
No,
it
I
even
agree.
better.
It's one of those things that make, again, it's a Vought thing, so it's not that surprising, but it's odd. Also, watching him ride, was it a shark?
Yeah, I think that was a shark. I'm almost positive that was a shark.
That was weird for me, and not that it was a CGI issue, it just was weird in general.
I
Watching
mean,
him run.
I'm not going to deny like the CGI shark was definitely, it did not look pretty on the eyes. I will say that, but
It's like it was, you know what it was? It didn't feel like it was actually in the water, and I think that's what bothered me more.
I just felt like the shark was too shiny to be
No,
like.
for me, I mean that might be true too, but the part that bothered me was it looked like he was swimming out of the water.
I mean, possible.
But anyway, so that is The Boys. Excited. We're very excited. That's the first week of April. So we're most likely getting a 3-episode premiere like normal. And then it's going to be once a week after that. So
There's going to be a lot of shows because it's going to 3-episode premiere of the book. It's at least two or three. I don't remember what they said.
It's always been 3.
I know it's always been 3, but I thought I saw somewhere this season was
Like
2.
you think everything, and then you're gonna look at Google, and you're gonna do what you're gonna do is you're gonna do the AI, which is gonna kill trees, okay? Because you can't just look it up yourself instead of using the AI.
It's not killing trees; it's draining all of our drinking water,
which the trees need.
Well, yeah, I mean we're killing trees for other reasons.
I know, but you're killing more in an inadvertent way.
Anyways, my point is that season we're going to have The Boys, we're going to have Daredevil, and we're going to have Invincible. There's going to be a lot to watch that week. And for all we know, we could get a surprise drop of My Adventures with Superman still. So,
speaking of which, let me just double check that.
I've been checking. I haven't seen anything. I haven't looked the last couple of days, but I've been.
Well, no, I check randomly just because I just to be on the safe side, because it feels like it will come out of nowhere.
I agree.
Okay. So still no, but that's fine. So anyway, let us move on now to Daredevil. Mike, you didn't like this trailer, or you haven't liked the trailers in general.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like I wasn't too crazy about it, and I don't know if it's because I just have a feeling like it's the music that they're tying to the trailer, because they're making it. It's supposed to be something that's dark and serious going on, and they're trying to make it upbeat. And I just feel like it's not.
Well,
it's not connecting for me.
So I clearly you haven't listened to the lyrics of the song.
I understand the lyrics mean something different than the tone of the song.
But I do get your point that that what you're going to be most likely listening to when you're watching all the action is the music, not the lyrics. So I will agree with you there. But I will state that after hearing the lyrics, it makes more sense. However, there's a lot of things, like I feel like they're giving a lot away and then also nothing at the same time. Like and what I mean by that is like we know that we have the swordsman who's still alive, but yet he's out. We have Jessica Jones who is like, you need to fix this problem. And he's like, I need help, and she's like, fine. There's no way it's just the 3 of them. And then we have Karen with a gun, which is like, realistically, I mean,
that's a staple at this point.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, again, it's nothing. And then we just randomly have Wilson Fisk as a mayor boxing people to death, it looks like. And that doesn't make sense. I don't know. And again, it's just the way it ended the last time doesn't make sense for this one. And then we have Bullseye, who is back as well, which we do know he's back for obvious reasons because he hasn't been captured. But my point I'm making is that it's alluding to the fact of like them teaming up with Bullseye to take down Kingpin.
Fisk. Yeah. It's a lot going on in this trailer, and
but like nothing connecting. Like like it is a bunch of like flash images. It feels like we're getting a bunch of flash images, and it's like good luck.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I mean you're definitely right with that. It's they're trying to throw as much information at us as they possibly can, and
but like they can't either, which is the weird like out
it's
of all.
Like here's what's going on. Good luck.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I have my problem for right now, especially because we're so like this would have been okay as a teaser trailer like months ago.
Yeah, yeah.
But now we're getting to the point where this should be like the final trailer, technically.
I'm pretty sure that was the final
And
trailer.
this is what we're getting, and I'm kind of just like, eh.
Yeah,
Because like
yeah.
you got to give something. Like just having Jessica Jones in it is not enough because we got her in the teaser trailer.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, the actor for Luke Cage, I've been seeing that I guess did an interview and people asked him about it, and he said that he has had talks with Marvel about coming back. He said he doesn't know when he's going to come back, but he has a feeling that it will work out that he can return. Um, and I'm like, and now I'm just like, all right, he's coming back for season 2. Like he's in the show. um,
I mean, I don't disagree with you. I'm just stating like that would make sense because of what we're leading up to.
oh yeah, yeah,
That's just a, and again, that would 100% make sense. So I'm curious. I mean, there's no way we're not going to get other heroes. Like there was a rumor originally that Spider-Man was supposed to be in this, but he can't. I think because of their contract.
yeah.
But he was supposed to be in this. That was the original plan. Obviously, it doesn't work out.
But now I don't know what's going on. I mean, obviously at this point they've already made the show, so whatever new contract comes in, it's going to be after this, I would think. But there's talks. I mentioned this before, is that Sony is now more open to working with Disney with getting their all their properties tied together.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to be because I mean, it took them long enough to realize that they need help and they can't do it on their own apparently. Um, Apparently, I also saw something that I don't know if you know this, but seeing that we were talking about Spider-Man for a quick second, apparently Sony, in order to keep the rights of Spider-Man,
They have to do one movie a year.
they have to do a movie a year. They have to have a new Spider-Man movie at minimum every
5 years.
Every 5 years, I think they said.
I think you're correct. 5.
Which I think that's crazy.
Because they have to. I believe they have to. The movie one, I'm not 100. Meaning, like the 5-year thing, I definitely heard. But I think they have to produce like a certain amount of movies, or have to use so many. I forget what the thought process is, but there's something else that has to go on too. That's why they did so many non-Spider-Man movies.
Yes.
Because I think the idea was they could get away with not having to use Spider-Man if they were able to do that. But anyway,
as long as it was tied to Spider-Man, it was okay.
Yeah, I think that was the idea. But anyway, that's just weird in and of itself. But my whole thing is, it's like for Sony, it would make more sense to, again, not necessarily allow them to do a whole movie with him. I get that. Meaning like they need to have the money for that. Meaning like, no, you're not getting to do a movie and we give you permission for it. You can help us make a movie and we'll be fine with it. But like give up the character every so often, because then it's like we because they're not we make it a contract where you can use it for some things but not everything, type of thing.
Yeah.
And then you make sure that he comes back for our movies, all 18,000 of them.
Yeah, I mean, as we saw, the movies that they had Disney help them with and were tied to the MCU,
are phenomenal.
They did really well. And the movies that they didn't, there was only one really big success.
Venom.
And then
and it
after
was only
that,
the first one.
Yeah, the second one was pretty good, but not nearly as good
compared to the first one. No.
Yeah,
and then the third one went downhill.
Yeah, it was a big disappointment. They're talking about rebooting that saga again.
I already heard.
But anyways, back to the main point that we were talking about, is Daredevil. I also heard that what's his name? The Iron Fist, he's talking about coming back, which we knew. But it's interesting because obviously it's Danny Rand and not the... I forget her name.
Colleen Wig.
Yes, Colleen.
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing is we'll have to wait and see what happens, because, I mean, realistically, we don't know anything until it happens.
Yeah.
I know the thought was the Defenders were coming back based on all this. I was more pissed off when we found out that Punisher's not even in this season.
Yeah, I told you that, and I was...
No, I know, and that pissed me off because it made no sense to me whatsoever.
It was like, why did you put him in season 1 if he's not going to be in the second half of this?
Yeah, like it doesn't make sense that he wouldn't help out.
Yeah. especially for everything going on. Absolutely.
Correct.
And here's the thing too: is like if they didn't put him in season 2, then you should have released his special before season 2.
I agree. So that way it makes sense of like, oh, he wasn't there because he was either bleeding out
Yeah.
for like the 87th time.
But even still, if he's bleeding out, he still shows up.
Well, he's supposed to be in Spider-Man.
Yes, I did hear that. Yep.
So I'm like, okay. I'm sitting here going, that makes less sense. In the sense of like, you have him in Daredevil where literally New York is falling apart and yet he's not going to help because he literally got into a fight with cops who were trying to be like him. And he's like, you can't be like me.
Yep.
I'm one of a kind. I'm Frank Castle. There was a thing that this is related. That something popped up where somebody was like, it had to do with Invisible Woman and Captain Marvel, and it was like, oh, they were cosmically impregnated by their sons in the comics, and the idea, which is actually accurate at certain points, yeah. So then somebody writes in the comments going,
I want to talk about it, but I don't want to talk about it.
So the point of me saying this is somebody literally goes in the comments and goes, you know, it's really sad. There's only 2 sane people in the entire Marvel universe, and it's Peter Parker and somehow Frank Castle. Make that make sense. And it's sad but true.
Yeah.
When you think of all the stuff that happens in their lives, like theirs are normal compared to everyone else.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
But like the fact that it was ever mentioned, I just laughed hysterically because I'm like because nobody thinks of Frank having a normal life ever. But the fact, like compared to other Marvel characters, yeah, it's pretty normal.
Yeah,
like Peter Parker's life is normal after all the death. But anyway, that was I just had to tell you that because that made me laugh hysterically. But
that does sound funny.
Daredevil, I mean, we're gonna watch it no matter what. But I have to agree with you. I'm not as excited about it as I was for season 1.
Yeah, no, I was excited for season 1. After season 1, you know, I was disappointed in season 1. So leading up to this, I've been looking forward to these trailers hyping me up. And like at first, when they first released it, yeah, I was excited. And now at this point, I'm like, oh, you're pulling on me. And
I did.
So now at this point, I'm like, all right, I don't really know what's going on here. Like I said with me is like this trailer, the tone that the show is, and the upbeat tone of the music, it's kind of like drawing me out of it. And again,
it's making it less. It's making it feel less serious.
Yeah,
and like with Matt smiling too is also like I will agree with you.
Weird ass smile, like
yeah. I'm going to agree with you there. Because like with season 1, why I was disappointed was although there were parts that were phenomenal, we can agree that there was a lull at a point where I was kind of getting to a point where I'm like, maybe this isn't going to be that great. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it picked back up and everything else, but it got weird at times.
Yeah. I mean, like I've told you this, like characters I don't
the fact
really
that they
care
killed
about.
Muse was pissing me off too, because he was a great villain.
Well, I mean, they were talking about. Oh yeah, Muse. Sorry, I was like, thought you said White Tiger. Is that his name?
Yeah. No. Yeah. The idea is he gets replaced like that.
Yeah.
That's less surprising to me than it was. Although, don't get me wrong, still surprising. However, less surprising than them getting rid of Muse.
Yeah, Muse. Yeah. Yeah. No, it was a different. Yeah, it was interesting choices. We'll see how they go. Hopefully they bring it back.
I mean, I feel like
they've already announced a season 3, so.
No, yes, they did. So I'm very curious on that. I mean, my whole thing is we'll have to wait and see what happens. I mean, the idea is there's no way they're killing Fisk because
he is the show.
He is the show.
He can take a step back, but
I mean, he can be in prison, like they as they've done in the past. Like he might not be the main focal point, but he can't not exist.
Yeah.
Because he always exists. But no, he's just incredible. He's the best villain I think Marvel has had.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, they have to really build him back up though, because you know I think we've talked about this where it's like they kind of lulled him down for the beginning of this season.
Yeah, and then they built him back up, and I think we're going to see this build up like fully express itself because I feel like we're going to get a slight time jump in between season 1 and season 2? Like, it's not going to be an immediacy. Like, there's
No,
going to be a
we
gap in
have.
time.
I
You
there
have
was a
confirmation on that?
yep. They announced it.
Mike's never ready.
I didn't think it was going to come up. All right, season 2 takes place 6 months after season
Yeah.
1. The Fisk administration at this point has really taken hold. At the same time, there's a bubbling up of an underground. New York is being transformed.
Okay. Perfect. Well, let us move on to the New Mutants.
Yep.
Overall, I liked it. I mean, it was very dark. It was, and again, not that I was expecting it to be lighthearted. I just wasn't expecting it to be such an emotional mess up, like in a good way, way. Like all the trauma that all those kids had were so comic book accurate and so cool.
It definitely, like we talked a little bit about it yesterday, it works for the X-Men universe. I think they did a good job emphasizing what mutants go through mentally and emotionally, and
Especially when they don't know how to control their powers.
yes, they're outcasts, they're treated as monsters, they're experimented on, and everything that we expect out of a mutant dash X-Men story. And obviously, with them going through their own personal turmoil, it's affecting their powers, affecting their ability to control their powers, and even just control themselves. Putting faith in other people. Why are we going to trust people if they're constantly hurting us?
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think they did a good job, or at least they tried to do a good job portraying that story. I'm not going to say they did a fantastic job. It wasn't.
No, I will
Definitely
agree.
wasn't.
I will agree.
Like, it wasn't. I agree with you that it was. It was a good movie.
Much better than I thought it was going to be based on what we were explained. How it was described.
I think this was an okay movie. I think it feels better than it was because our expectations were so low going into it. Like, I can understand why this wasn't like a big talked about movie. It like I said yesterday, is like it felt like an early 2000s style movie that was released today. Just with some of the tone and the acting and whatnot, but it definitely, and obviously some of the CGI, which but like, yeah, I thought it was okay.
It was supposed to come out in 2018.
Okay, so it wasn't that far off. 2 years isn't the end of the world.
No, but it was thought to have been scrapped.
Yeah.
That's more of what I'm getting. But
unlike Ironheart, which got delayed like 5 years.
Yeah. So and we talked about this yesterday, but you know all the 5 mutants now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go with it's Cannonball, who is the Kentucky mutant who has the ability to literally propel himself forward at fast speeds. Comic book accurate. He freaked out in a mine while he was working with his dad, killed everyone in the mine when he escaped.
Oh, okay.
Again, he didn't try to escape in the sense of like to use his powers, but that's what happened.
Yeah, that was I think he said that was like one of the first times he had used his powers.
I think it was the first time he noticed he had powers, I believe, too. But yes.
I know he said that was the first time he went to go work in the mines with his dad. And then he got claustrophobic and basically had a panic attack.
Yes.
So that...
Yes. He was claustrophobic. He was claustrophobic. He's claustrophobic. Claustrophobic.
Oh, yes. Yep. Yeah, I don't remember if he said that was the first time that he noticed his powers, or if he just lost control of them then. But
all right, you remember the Smiling Men?
Yep.
Do you know who voices them?
No.
I would have never in a million years guessed this, but you know this person, Marilyn Manson.
I can see it. You know what's
No,
funny is
no,
that
no, no. I don't disagree with you, but you know what I'm saying? Never in my
you
life.
know what's funny is that when I saw that first, my first head was like for the first thing I'm like, this gives me Marilyn Manson vibes, and then that's actually really funny. One time I actually put that correlating together is actually right. That's hilarious.
And did we see X-23 in a clip?
In this,
Yeah.
I don't
She might have been in
remember.
the background of like one of the screens or something. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't pick up on it.
No, it's saying that. I agree with you. I don't remember it. That's why I'm asking. We had Sunspot, who was Roberto, who we've seen in X-Men '97, but we got to see him live action for the first time. Um, or second time? Anyway, I think it's second time because I think he was in Days of Future Past.
Uh,
Wasn't there a fire guy?
yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
think it
just
was. I don't. They never said his name. I think we just assumed it was
I
Sunspot.
I think in Days of Future
Oh
Past
no, it
it
was
was.
Sunfire. It was Sunfire
Yeah, I
in
was
the.
gonna say.
You're right. You're right. You're right. But anyway, so we got Sunspot, and honestly, another comic book accurate backstory, and just the way he is perfect. Um, I also love the Wolfsbane, who was also really cool too. Um, and then we had, well, I already said Cannonball. We had Magix, which we talked about. And she's obviously the sister of Colossus.
Yep. Yep.
Also, we also got Lockheed, which was cool too, the little dragon.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was curious about that.
Well, at
The
first they just did the puppet, and I was like, oh, okay. And then we got him for real, and I was like, oh, okay.
I did like how they did that, where it was the puppet the entire time, where it's like, oh, she's kind of going crazy, kind of going crazy, but it actually is something.
Mm.
um I definitely liked that.
And then we obviously have Moonstar, aka her real code name is Mirage, because she creates these illusions of people's fears and desires.
Hmm.
Now, obviously, in this, it's only fears, but she also could do it for desires as well. And then we also had Cecilia Reeves, who happens to be a mutant who is their mentor, basically, and creates a lot of force fields. Um, yeah, I mean, the idea was they were being trained to be soldiers
Oh,
because this is
so
supposed to show the future of this was supposed to be like the result, like what was happening to the young mutants in Logan.
yes, yep.
Um, so it was supposed to be like the final tie-in for that, and it did rather well in the sense of tying that in technically, because once I realized that this was supposed to be like to kind of get a better understanding of what was happening in Logan, made more sense to me.
Hmm. So real quick, I just looked up the cast for Days of Future Past, and it is Sunspot.
Oh, okay.
um
For some
so
reason, I thought it was, but then I got thrown off.
I didn't think we got him so soon, so that's
Well, I will say this: it went in that movie in particular. Even though we got Blink and all these other characters, they really like we had Warpath.
yep.
Like realistically, they were there for such a short time that they don't count.
No, yeah, yeah. They
I
were
hate
just
saying it
putting
that
him
way,
in.
but they
They were
literally were
just
there
putting
to
him in to
just
put him in.
die multiple
Yeah,
times.
to
They
show the
basically,
significance. Yeah.
yeah.
Um.
But yeah, so I mean, this movie was cool. We got to see everyone's tragic backstory. We also got to see all their powers and what they're capable of, which I thought was kind of cool. And the fact that she was too powerful that they didn't want her to stay alive.
Yep. And they needed to terminate the subject. Yep. That
Yeah,
was that. I was,
and also
which is
that Reeves,
interesting because
Re,
normally they like those powerful beings where it's like, oh, we got to control them. This one they were like, nah, get her gone.
well, I think the idea is, and I think it had to do with this. Also has to do with Logan because of Charles Xavier.
It's fair. Yeah.
So they don't want to risk another incident like that where they lose control and then half like a whole city's gone.
I mean, that's fair. Definitely fair.
That's my assumption of it. That being said, I get your point. Yet normally they would 100% be on board. But it is what it is.
I mean, like I
Um,
said, it's an interesting twist that you're not used to seeing. So it's like,
Agreed. No, agreed.
um,
Um, but yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool too. The demon bear was incredible, in the sense of the worst CGI I've ever seen.
oh yeah,
Um,
that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad, especially when he ate what's her name?
the yes, I was like, and I like when after it's all done, they grab her shoe and it's just drip.
It's
Like
dripping blood. I'm like,
it's not
wow.
even dripping; it's pouring. And I'm
Yeah,
like, there's no way there's that much in there. But whatever. Um, yeah, I mean, like I said, it was just a weird thing. In that sense. But like I said, I like the characters. I like the story overall. I agree. It wasn't the best story ever, for obvious reasons, and it was interesting that they decided to not have this come out until after Disney bought it. Um, and like this could have been the final, because this was supposed to be the final installment of the Fox universe.
was was this before or after the Dark Phoenix? I thought the Dark Phoenix.
Well, this was supposed to take place after Logan or during Logan. So technically after, but I think time wise you're correct.
So so the Dark Phoenix came out in 2019.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is you're correct, but what I'm getting at is like this was meant to like be like the because like the Phoenix Dark Phoenix was in the past technically.
Oh, I understand what you mean. Okay,
You get you know it's a typical Fox thing.
yeah, I understand what you mean now.
Like
I thought you
you
were
are
I thought
correct. You are correct. However, I'm talking about chronologically in time.
yeah. I thought you were saying like this was supposed to be like the last movie from Fox, and I'm that's why I was like,
No,
no.
it's supposed to be the end of like that series because the other one is like a different timeline, but it's also the past, so it's not connected, but it is, and it's just a weird thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Either way, Fox being Fox and not doing continuity well.
no, they do trilogies well, and that's it. Uh,
Do they? Do
they do
they?
it better than a full cinematic universe. I can say that with a fact.
I mean that's fair. That's fair.
So what I'm getting at is I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but I'm like I am right in that sense. But you are also correct. They're not great at it, but they're better. Um, so that being said, it was nice. I liked it. Like I said, it wasn't horrible. It was definitely better than I was expecting. My expectations were low because of everything everyone said about it. However, I mean, I don't think it should have been shelved. It wasn't that bad in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where the Fox universe was at the time.
It probably wasn't appropriate. I will agree.
Yeah, it's like it wasn't the best. They had a high with Logan, but everything else was just like they're banking off of Hugh Jackman Wolverine to for the success of the X-Men movies at
And
that
that's
point.
really all it was him. I
Yeah.
hate saying it, but it's true. Not that there
So
weren't other good actors, but I mean, like Wolverine was like he
he
made
made the
Wolverine an A-list Marvel character
yeah.
because he was always B-list,
No, he wasn't anything significant until Hugh Jackman fit the character so well, and
except for his height.
well, yes, but
But
that's
that's the
besides
only
the
thing.
point.
That's the only no. But that's the only thing that was wrong. That was it. And like weirdly enough, people were saying that he was the worst. Like when he was first casted,
He was the worst
the
decision.
worst
Yeah,
one. And then like now you can't think of anybody being Wolverine but him
yeah,
because as weird as it sounds, like he just does such a great job.
absolutely. And so, like, because of like the failure of Apocalypse, they're trying to like just trying to like shelve that universe. I'm surprised that they decided to shelve this movie and keep Dark Phoenix in. So it's like like it. I feel like it could have been reversed, but hey, whatever.
I mean, in their mind, they thought that would have been more successful than this one, and I sort of understand
I
from
understand
a
it
standpoint.
because of the group, like the
Yes,
X Men
because
as a
they've been building
whole
this.
is
Yeah,
more.
exactly. Because X Men are always X Men.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like where New Mutants, nobody knows who they are.
exactly. Um, but it is what it is. Not the best thing, but not the worst thing. Um, you know,
Yep.
we'll see what Disney does now.
You ready for my character spotlight?
Yes, we can talk about your character spotlight.
Dr. Cecilia Reyes, who we saw in The New Mutants. She was born into a Puerto Rican family in the Bronx of New York City, growing up in a vibrant and culturally rich community. Her early years were marked by a strong sense of family and heritage, as she was raised with her older brother. However, tragically struck at a tender age of 6 when she witnessed tragedy struck. Sorry, when the tender age of 6 when she witnessed the senseless murder of her father in a drive-by shooting. This traumatic event left lasting impact on the young girl, shaping her worldview and igniting within her a fierce determination to make a difference in her life and in the world. On that day, she decided to become a doctor to help people and started dedicating her entire life to pursue a career in medicine. Her first steps was reading her brother's science textbook, followed by decades of study to be the best doctor that she was possibly capable of. Throughout the years, focused on her formation, her mutant powers of uncontrollably creating cytoplasmic force fields when physically harmed activated. Contacted by none other than Charles Xavier, Dr. Cecilia Reyes, right? Reyes?
I
How did
think
they
so.
say it?
I think that's how they said it.
Reyes was invited to join his X-Men at the Xavier Institute. She rejected the offer and asked that her condition remain a secret from the world, preferring to continue her trauma surgeon career at Our Mother of Mercy Hospital in South Bronx. In exchange, she had during in exchanges she had during work, she went along with prejudiced opinions about mutants shared by colleagues to conceal her condition. Shocking. During Operation Zero Tolerance, which was a large scale mutant hunting initiative carried out by the android Bastion, Dr. Reyes became a target of the program's prime sentinels while working. Wonder why. One of the machines, disguised as a dying patient, attacked her, exposing her status as a mutant. She survived the assault by using her defensive cytoplasmic field. It's a very weird phrasing. I'd rather just say force field. But the only free
Yeah.
member of the X-Men at the moment was Iceman, who located her for a rescue. He was met with an angry Reyes, who blamed the X-Men for ruining her life after her secret was revealed. Despite her bitterness over the crisis, she agreed to join him, and they escaped through the Murloc tunnels. Oops. Retreating to the abandoned apartment of Warren Worthington III, who was Angel. They were targeted by more Sentinels masquerading as ordinary humans, and in their resistance, police officer Charlotte Jones, Worthington's ally, assisted them. The police had been compromised by Bastion, as well as assaulted the captive mutants. The the vicious former member of Morlocks, Marrow, intervened and joined the fugitives. Marrow, being dismissive of human lives, instantly clashed with obviously Reyes's values. Mutant Mossad operative Sabra, had intelligence about Bastion's hideout during the X-Men's final stand against him. SHIELD interjected and took the tyrant captive. Iceman promised sanctuary for Reyes and Marrow at the Xavier Institute, but upon arrival, they found the mansion completely depleted of furniture and equipment due to Bastion's agents' actions. It's interesting that the mansion was still there, but it was the furniture and equipment that was taken only. Equipment makes sense, but the furniture throws me off.
DNA?
I guess. I don't know. Dr. Reyes was extremely distressed with the ruined expectation. And then the other X-Men freed from Bastion also returned home. As a final silent act, Bastion had implanted a bomb within the body of Cyclops, the leader of the X-Men. And with no medical facilities, the X-Men resorted to the medical skills of Reyes, who surgically removed the bomb. Now, despite officially being invited to the X-Men, she left their mansion to resume her work as a physician. She was met with hostility by some patients and colleagues due to being a mutant. The staff called her to treat a legacy virus ravished Pyro, a mutant terrorist whose flames ran out of control. Her performance had the attention of the vigilante known as Daredevil, who asked her for her secret assistance to treat a gun wound. During their interaction, she saw for the first time the honor of being a superhero. By the end of the day, Pyro tricked Reyes into loosening the straps that kept him restrained, allowing his escape. As a consequence, this cost her her job at the hospital because they fired her. With no alternative but having a renewed inspiration, she reluctantly joined the Xavier Institute. As an X Men, she quickly connected with Beast for obvious reasons, and became accustomed to the community of the Salem Center. In one of her clashes with Marrow inside the mansion, Reyes manifested her force field in an offensive fashion, sparking Beast's curiosity. When Wolverine was maimed, Dr. Reyes analyzed his scars, ruling out Maggot as the culprit, prompting the X Men to search for the actual aggressor in the field. Since the X Men lacked their usual equipment, Cecilia donned the extravagant costume provided by by Beast that once belonged to the Wasp. They identified the demonic Rato, an enslaved sect of the monsters Nagari, and encountered that deeply disturbed Reyes, resorting her to Catholic faith. She was brutalized by the leader of the sect, Pilgrim, displaying unpredictable courage. She destroyed the artifact of power, ending the threat. Following some missions, she decided to set up a practice clinic in Salem Center, stepping down from the active X-Men duty and assisting the team when necessary for their medical needs. She remained in close contact with the X Men after all this, providing any kind of support, but normally it was medical. She rarely went out as a like for missions and stuff like that, unless it was for medical attention only. Not to say she didn't fight still, she just, that wasn't her forte, nor did she want to. The X Men were assaulted by the War Clan, a sect of Neo, and an injured Nightcrawler approached her for treatment in Brooklyn. She provided him with support, but became a target of Neo as well, being attacked by Jagari. Her anger caused her to violently use her force field against her aggressors, killing Jagger, much to her self disappointment. She and Nightcrawler retreated to a hidden infirmary she kept in the city, and Detective Jones stumbled upon them while fighting the rave dealer Rufus Delgado. Rave was a highly addictive drug emerging in New York City as a performance enhancing stimulant. Amidst the chaos, Dr. Reyes secured Delgado's samples. In the crusade against the Neo, they ended up trapped in their fortress below St. Michael's Church, which should ring a bell to you because I believe that's Daredevil's church. Cornered, she administered Rave into her system to gain power and resist the Neo using her boosted powers aggressively. The X Men joined them, forcing Neo to retreat. In a subsequent clash with Neo, Dr. Reyes confronted Delgado directly, not being able to subdue him with her powers since she started using Rave regularly. Her powers ran out of control, forcing her to spiral down into an addiction. She was hospitalized at Xavier's infirmary, where Professor Xavier tended to her condition as she manifested excessive aggression and deadly sharp spikes in her energy shields. After recovery, she accompanied the Beast as he developed a definitive cure for the legacy virus. Its eradication should be a catalyst by the activation of the mutant signature in a sacrificial exposure. Colossus triggered the process as he entered in shock. She provided the medical assistance for him after being unable to stop him. She died in it. He died in her arms, but the plague of the legacy virus was gone forever. So sad. Abducted by Weapon X program, she was taken into the mutant concentration camp called Neverland, where she advised other captives to lay low and not rebel against Box's androids. Many of the mutants perished in the camps, secretly run by none other than Mr. Sinister. But Reyes was identified as one of the few survivors. Following M Day, when most mutants had their genetic makeup rendered inert, Dr. Reyes was still missing. Her brother, the military colonel Miguel Reyes, was assigned to head the Sentinel Squad 1 security on Xavier Institute. Upon the raid, I'm just trying to see how much I have left. Okay. My apologies. Okay. Under the radar, she worked as an unlicensed doctor at her apartment in New York City, where she volunteered at local shelters. Bobby Soul, a fugitive mutant, knew about her activities when his friend Tatiana Cabin was injured with a gunshot and was hunted down by Shield. Contacted her, protected by Nixon's Hidden Nixon's time freezing powers. They managed to reach her after operating on Cabin. Reyes offered the runaway kids shelter but secretly informed Beast of their situation. Nixon observed her actions and grew suspicious, leading to the teens to leave her without her knowledge. Cyclops relocated mutant kind to the sovereign territory of Utopia on the Pacific Ocean near San Francisco. He recruited Reyes to operate as the doctor in the mutant society. Upon her arrival, She provided Magneto with medical care. Subsequently, she accompanied Hope, the mutant messiah, in her quest to stabilize the recent activated mutants. One of the cases involved Gabriel whatever in Mexico. And when Reyes's powers were used to restrain him and fix his condition, um, she helped in that, and that's what she did to stop it. Sorry. On Utopia, she recognized the potential of the emergence of a pandemic. Her suspicions were proven right when the villain Loeb infected the island with a mutant targeting HXN1, forcing a quarantine. As a local physician, she took care of the sick until the disease was eradicated. She continued helping X-Men both in medical support and field work, such as when she protected a group of anti-mutant protesters in San Francisco from the unstoppable rage of the Juggernaut, after he was corrupted by the power of Kurth, prompting most mutants to react. It had too many syllables. I mean, too many letters that didn't make sense.
No, the reason why I laugh is when I was, you were trying to pronounce it and your face was making funny, like contorting funny.
Oh, because I'm like, how do you
Right.
say that? Because it's two U's, and I'm like, there's never two U's anywhere. But anyway, feeling uncomfortable with the behavior of the inhabitants of Utopia, she left the island and returned to her apartment. She was visited by X-23 and Gambit, who requested her to treat the injuries of them. She agreed and restitched Gambit's wounds, and X-23 sensed the previous presence of Nixon and her other friends, but Reyes could not inform her of her friend's whereabouts. And when Gambit stayed in the apartment, X-23 left to look for the missing ones, as an earthquake caused by the Worldermong King transpired. Reyes and Gambit helped the victims before searching for X-23, who was ultimately found under the case of the Future Foundation. During their partnership, Reyes and Gambit formed a friendship connection. He never has just friendships. But anyway, Reyes moved into Gambit's apartment in the Upper West Side. Shocking. Since part of the X-Men relocated back to Westminster to run Wolverine's reluctant inaugurated Jean Grey School. Gambit needed a place in the city to occasionally stay and was content to share her with his friend. Was content to share it with his friend. Sorry. This put her in contact with the usual disasters involving the X-Men. Since Wolverine visited Gambit's apartment to prepare himself to counter an attack by the Mortarers, reluctantly, Dr. Reyes joined the X-Men, using her force fields to protect them from an assault. She also medically treated civilians who were hurt in the commotion. The incident had her be a presence at the Jean Grey School as well. And the attack on the X-Men was carried out by Susan Hitachi, sister of the X-Men Karma. She had been taken hostage, and she worked with Beast in treating those harmed by the attacks, eventually tracing Hitachi to the Russian military base. And despite expressing her intentions of helping people at the emergency room, she joined the X-Men in an emergency rescue, believing Karma might need medical help. In Madripoor, Reyes tended to those experimented on by the Hitachi Corporation, and when the X-Men were attacked by Hitachi, the military base collapsed. Her force fields protected the team underneath the debris. Encouraged by Gambit, she broke the X-Men free from the rubble, although Karma was saved, and Hitachi blackmailed the X-Men into invading a private nation of Madripoor for her to take it over. And her plan backfired as the X-Men managed to put her down. Being in the proximity of the X-Men, she reconsidered her potential romantic feelings for both Gambit and McCoy. Gambit took her to a night out with the X-Men as a way to relax the considering recent turmoil. Their event was interrupted by a horde of mindless zombies. as one normally does,
Yeah.
during which she felt a connection with a strange entity discovered to be an alien that got away. Next, the X Men hunted down Dark Beast, an evil version of Hank McCoy from an alternate universe. The Shi'ai X-Men Warbird wanted to execute him for his cruel crimes, but she protected him from her powers, arguing that their role was to save any life. And coming to terms with this position, she decided to give a chance to her heart as well, and went on a date with Gambit before celebrating her birthday with the X-Men. At the Jean Grey School, she was an important part of the staff, considered constantly treating Wolverine after he had lost his healing factor, and using her force field to protect students when they faced attacks. Sword contacted the Jean Grey School when Shihar royalty Deathbird happened upon their station. The Peak, in need of medical treatment, in her evaluation, Reyes, concluded that the victim's wounds had been recent and she was pregnant. As Sidar hunters raided the station, she was drawn into action alongside the X Men, and the X Men investigated the origin of the attack, during which she detected their leader, Storm, had been put out of commission by someone inside the station, exposing Sword's traitorous agent, Manifold Tiger. Despite being severely injured, she managed to survive and recuperate Storm. After this, the true attacker, Shahardi Darthri, was defeated by the X Men. She maintained her work with the X Men at their school. One of its residents was obviously Logan, a version of Wolverine from a dystopian future, which is interesting. She monitored his health, and his healing factor acted erratically due to the exposure of Regenix. His condition deteriorated, leading to Reyes to conclude his condition was terminal. She took care of him until he ultimately chose to return to his timeline. She was one of the many mutants transported to a pocket reality created by Nate Gray, who is known as the X-Man. Also, an alternate version of Cable, for those of you who don't know, using the Life Seed, in which the world as a mutant-exclusive paradise in which settling. She was a teacher of the medical division at the Summers Institute for Higher Learning, being responsible for classes of students aiming at using mutant powers for preventative healthcare. The illusion was eventually destroyed, and the X-Men returned to their proper plane of existence. The final story. On mutant-exclusive island nation known as Krakoa, Reyes acted as an expert in mutant biology. She carried out exams, medical operations, autopsies, and other matters pertaining to mutant medicine using the facilities of the Healing Gardens. She worked closely with the X Force and Croaca's international agency in their operations against Xeno, during which she expressed her concern over beasts immorally scavenging their resources from corpses, and with the X Factor investigations as a project to create a body farm to assess mutant crimes, enable procedures for coroners. In this role, Dr. Reyes found a purpose with uniting both her nature as a mutant and her mission as a physician. She later dated another mutant known as Askar, ASKOR, but their relationship ended badly as he disappeared without a notice. The Utopian Mutant Society collapsed in a war against Orcus. However, and in the events of the mutants reintegrating into human society following the end of their utopia, a market emerged to capitalize upon the extraordinary lives of mutants. As such, X Factor was rebranded as a government squad formed by the marketable individuals. Because you got to make money. As the first iteration of the team tragically ended in action, she was among the mutants recruited for public relations to compose the team based in Malibu, and she was chosen to be the team's leader. As a member of the X Factor, she was distracted by the end of her relationship with Oscar. During a rescue mission in which she was assigned, she was shocked to meet him as the new recruit of the team under the new name Wintergeist. He apologized and shared that he had left and not looked for contact because he was a secret agent for the X-Term, an opposing organization to the X Factor. She forgave him but expressed her lack of trust as he almost sacrificed himself to save her life during a mission. They resumed their relationship. However, X-Term retaliated against the X Factor, and their commander Darkstar executed Wintergeist for his treason. As she mourned, she was confronted by her teammate Pyro. Recognizing that they were not respected as individuals by their contractors, X Factor chose to resign after a rebellion. And that's everything. So her mutant abilities is what's called a cytoplasmic biofield, which generates basically a strong, durable force field. Apparently, the force field extends 6 inches from any point of her body. This field constantly surrounds her body at any given moment, completely invisible, and only gives like a glass-like translucency when activated by a threat. Eventually, she's able to use it as a weapon, and she's able to use it more frequently. So when she first gets it, when it first manifests, it can only go a few inches off her body, and it's only for her. As she learns to use her powers, she can create it just like we saw in the movie, pretty much anywhere, and she can use it as a weapon as well, which is always something I always find weird, but it's the same thing with Sue Storm. Like, she uses it as a physical force as well. Mm. One of my favorite things, though, is apparently she uses it to, like, make her fists more powerful, so creating more of a concussive force. But I just thought that was kind of funny. She's obviously skilled as a medical doctor, which shouldn't be a shock to you whatsoever. Now, as always, the power grid is out of 7. So intelligence is a 4 because she is very smart. I mean, she's a medical doctor. And I think she's not just a medical doctor, but she's also a biologist to a point of understanding mutant DNA to a very far amount.
I was going to guess like a 3. So being a 4 is, a little higher than I was expecting. So that's cool.
What do you think her strength and speed are?
2. Normal. Yep. Well, the strength depends on if they're calculating it with her powers. Because if the strength is enhanced by her powers, then probably a little bit higher. But obviously, I don't know if that considers like energy projection.
Well, because I think this is where it's going to get weird, because it's not her strength.
So if it's just her strength, like her as a human, strength and strength and speed is going to be.
I think it's one of those things where, and this is going to get very weird, because like, when I say this, you're going to be like, well, Colossus is a mutant. Yes, but her power is a force field.
Yeah, but his power is enhancing his body.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, so it's not her strength. It's her, like Jean Grey is not physically strong, but she can lift a lot.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, it's a 2 for both of them because it's normal. Her durability is a 5, which shouldn't be that shocking. What throws me off, though, which does make sense, though, is her energy projection is a 2 because she can only create force fields.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I would have said 3, but hey.
I think it's because it's only force fields. Anyway, but that's just a me thing. Anyway, and her fighting skills is a 2 because she's really not that great of a fighter, which shouldn't be that shocking.
Yeah.
But that is it. So, what are we going to be doing for next week? We're going to be talking about any trailers that come out, because there's honestly a possibility at this point, because we had so many this past couple of weeks. But most likely I would think not, but who knows? We are also going to be watching, Mike for the first time, MODOK, the Hulu series. And we are then going to talk about that and then end with a character spotlight from Mike. Because after that, we are going to be dealing with a whole bunch of shows until June.
Yep.
Possibly July.
Shows and movies. Because then, once the shows are over, it's Supergirl.
Yep, you're correct. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. And then obviously August is then also Lanterns. Yep. So, we're going to have a jam-packed time, although these next couple of months are going to be very jam-packed. Everything else is at least looking not as jam-packed right now.
I forgot, actually. I can't believe I forgot this. After the shows, it's Supergirl, and then after Supergirl, it's Spider-Man.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So we have a lot to go over in general. But for now, if you made it this far into the video, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Scott and Mike signing out with the Black Eel Podcast. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.